He's gonna go for the whole thing. Check this thing out.
So it's a 5.3 Gen 3 Chevy LS with a 88mm T4 turbo, running about 12 pounds of boost right now.
A 77 Lincoln Mark V. Yep, super cool. Little vinyl top, soft top. We'll take a quick peek in here. Oh, it's got the satisfying buzzer and everything.
You want to fire it up, that switch sits in park.
I'll start it, he's gonna do it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna start it up, we'll see how this goes. Oh boy, it's running. I'm not gonna drive this thing, it's about 30 feet long. I'm gonna put it into the fence. So there's one thing I never thought I would do, and it's buy a tractor. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and welcome to another video on the Abandoned Racetrack series, where we're going to continue to fix it up. And one thing I'm going to really need to fix it up is some equipment out here. In the last couple of uploads, you saw a skid steer out here, and that's my buddy's. He's come out a few times and helped me out in a really big way, because those things are incredible machines, especially one that's the size that he has and being tracked and everything. They're just killer machines. But what the problem is with one of those is that one like that is pretty spendy. But with this type of property, there's one thing that after doing a lot of homework and conferring back and forth between people that do this type of stuff, we did a lot of thinking, put our heads together, and the best bang for your buck out here is going to be a tractor. You can do a little bit of material moving, you can do a little bit of brush hogging, you can do a little bit of back blading, you can do a little bit of stuff with the bucket, back blading rather. You can do grading, put any number of attachments on the back so long as it has a 3-point hitch and PTO. And they cost like a tenth of what that skid steer costs, maybe what you may pay for one like that. Imagine around $30,000, maybe give or take a little bit. Overall, for the money spent, I feel pretty good about what I bought, but I did go on a fruitless adventure trying to pick up another one, which actually I'm pretty glad that it didn't work out. Sometimes cheaper is not always better. So we'll hop back in time, take a ride up to the top of the hill, and we'll check out a tractor that I ended up not buying. Then we'll meet you back here and check out what I bought. Well, we appear to be in the right area. There it was. Nice guy. Tractor just didn't start. His buddy with some tools and parts or whatever is like a good hour away, and we couldn't get it started, so that is probably not the one. Well, that one was a bust. On to the next one, I guess. So that was the tractor that was not meant to be. It was a real turd, and unfortunately, it just ended up not working out. You've already seen it in the thumbnail. The tractor is inside the so affectionately called Love Shack. I'll show you a little bit of footage about why I call it that, and it's actually come a long ways since I actually bought the property, including the apron and whatnot. When I bought it, it was actually completely full of like garbage and broken glass and bricks and adult apparatus, or whatever you may refer to it as. You know what I'm talking about, it's all in there. And we'll go over that real quick, then I'll show you what it's like now. But there was a dude living in here, and I can't take the time to censor certain areas because there's a lot of adult material, we'll call it, and it appears to be some sort of apparatus right there. So if that tells you kind of what was going on here, well, that's the deal. So copper thieves kind of got after this building too. Thank God they left that primary power, like I said, I think in the previous video. So they actually left this, which is good because now you don't have to go splice it and add cable underground. It just would have been more of a pain. So luckily it's all there. It's gonna be a matter of adding breakers and paying that out upstairs to get all the lighting and stuff working again, and obviously all the outlets and stuff. So there's gonna be quite a bit of that type of thing to do. They did a real bang up job kind of demoing everything, which is nice. Actually looks to be like straight cuts and everything, so that's pretty cool that they did that. All right, after a quick 20-minute cleanup, the space is usable. So it's not super clean or anything like that, but for the most part, we're gonna be good to go in here. It's actually kind of a nice little shop. So I'll have to do a little bit of grading to make it easy to get cars in and out as needed, or equipment or whatever, but yeah, so far so good. So it's gonna take a lot of steps. We're going on a 1,000-mile journey here, so it ain't gonna happen overnight, but you gotta start somewhere. So now that I've got a home for the tractor, let's go on a little road trip back in time once more, and we're gonna go pick this up. This thing was actually only a few miles away from my house, which was super convenient, so I went and looked at it. It checked all the boxes, ran great, and everything seemed to work as it should. It needs a little bit of work, but the thing's like 60 years old, so what do you expect? Let's go pick up the tractor, and I'll meet you guys back in the garage when we're all done. Now that I'm back on private property and safe territory, the standing water that I mentioned earlier in the video, or later in the video I guess, I don't know when I actually would have mentioned it right now before I've edited it, but there is another culvert there. The previous owner was kind enough to kind of just be in touch if I did ask any questions like that, like, hey, is there a culvert here? Am I digging for nothing? Is, you know, just some of the history of the place I don't know all of, and he's been good enough to tell me a lot of it. So he's been a valuable resource, but I'm hoping that when I get this thing offloaded, I'll find out real quick that I'll be able to park this inside of the garage, and I'll have dry storage for it from here out, and I'll have something that I can do some work with out here that really isn't breaking the bank for now. I'm gonna get parked, get it off the trailer, and I'm gonna go for a little ride and see how it drives. Sometimes it doesn't quite feel like work. So here it is in all of its glory. This is a 57 International Utility 300, and the utility model, as far as I understood, all came with this front loading bucket. It was a utility tractor at the time, so you'd use it around the farm or property or what have you, and they really shined with kind of moving material. So this is a two-part bucket. It unbolts in the center here, and it's got a forked bucket in the middle. So as you can see there, comes apart. It's kind of a home brewed kind of deal. You could obviously change things or modify it or customize it in some way, or I could probably build something with just pallet forks if I so chose. But for now, it's actually gonna do what I really want it to, and it's already been 12 volt converted. It does have lighting on the front and back. It's got a 5-speed transmission, which means it has a pretty good sized road gear. It does leak like crazy, so I'm trying to soak it up with that sheet of plywood, which is like trying to soak it up with a $500 bill right now. But anyways, it's got fluid-filled tires, which is great. It has PTO on the back, and it's got live hydraulics, which means I don't have to have the transmission engaged or anything like that. They just run off of the engine's RPM. And we got some hookups in the back for more hydraulic fittings, as well as live PTO. So I can also run PTO in neutral. So checks all the boxes. The one thing it didn't have was a 3-point hitch on it. And if you know anything about tractors, which is something I'm very new at, I'm actually just learning about them now, so to say. That pretty much allows you to run anything you want on there. But the one thing that really sold it on me was the exhaust cover. You got your Prince Albert long cut. So that was kind of funny. At any rate, they did run lead additive in this machine because it's something that you're gonna need on the older engines that don't have hardened valve seats, and this is exactly the type of thing you're going to want to run it on, especially if you run it hard. Now, just putting around, I don't think you'd probably have a problem, if I'm being honest, just using non-oxygenated or what have you. But if you do work them hard, you're going to want to run lead additive, just like any old car or truck. Without the hardened valve seats, you can burn valves and things of that nature, as far as I understand. So anyways, this is the tractor. I've done quite a bit of work with it already. And as you can see, the space in here is much different than the first time I was actually in here. I didn't film too much because, to be honest, it was so disgusting in here. I just really didn't like spending any time or anything like that. So I've got a little bit of storage in here now, and as you can see, I took out that destroyed header with a couple of buddies. It was more of a dividing wall that was over the ceiling. So I actually opened up the space quite a bit in here. Got a little bit of storage, I've mold killed everything. And the other downside to it is that behind the wall here, as you can see, it's wet here and all through the back. The grade of the grass is actually higher than what the slab is. So what happens when it really rains out, water comes in, which is too bad. That's about what I gotta say about that right now. And oh boy, we better go check this out. He wants to do some laps by the looks of it. Can't really zoom in that much on this guy. Someone's excited to be here, and you'll hear some firearms going off in the background. We're adjacent to a gun club, which means this is the perfect little slice of America that everybody wants. So I'm gonna go meet my buddy up there. We're gonna go pick up some screws and nails and stuff like that on the infield because it's all over the place, and I'll catch up with you guys in a little bit. He's getting after it. Well, that's all I got for today's video. I hope you guys liked it. It's just a little bit of an update. I do have some equipment out there right now, and it's needed a lot of work since I bought it, so there's going to be updates on that as well. If you want to support the channel, there's no way to do it by GoFundMe or Patreon. I'm not going to set one of them up, but the way you can help is by sharing the video or liking and commenting, and most importantly subscribing to the channel and helping it grow, because that is going to help the place grow as well. So that's all I got for this video. I'll catch up with you guys in the next one.